This is
Up
for Grabs, a podcast where three unfiltered friends talk about anything and everything. And now, here are your hosts, Tracy, Kim, and Rachel.
Welcome to Up for Grabs. I'm Rachel. I'm here with my friends Kim.
Hello.
And Tracy.
Hi.
Hi. Today on Up for Grabs, we're going to really examine our buying habits. We did this by watching a documentary on Netflix called Buy Now, The Shopping Conspiracy. Mm-hmm. And I knew just by the title that I was definitely guilty of everything they were going to say in this documentary. I felt guilty before I even turned it on.
Me too.
And boy, by the time I was done, I'm such a jerk. I'm part of the problem.
I felt targeted when you suggested it. I was
really?
Like, I don't need this crap from her.
Did you think it was like a subtle intervention?
Yeah, I always think there's a subtle intervention happening on whatever topic. So
yeah, you'll never know. We're going to surprise you with one. Yeah,
okay.
One day when we start recording, it's going to be your intervention. That would be great. So basically this thing on Netflix, I don't know. I thought it was kind of corny the way they made it into a...
Yeah, I didn't like the production of it.
Like the infomercial-y type.
I did not like it.
And the way that it would kind of go into animation.
No, I did not
jam.
like it. Just interview the people and I didn't like it
either. But the information was good.
Yeah. Well, so it started and basically what it did, and I did appreciate the format, even though I agree with you, I hated the visuals. They just kind of went through the 5 steps that a company goes through to maximize their profit. So it's like basically a marketing class. Everybody learns this. And even though I know like all the 5 steps and when they were talking about it, I'm like, yeah, totally. Even though I know it, I still fall for it.
Absolutely.
And that makes me mad.
Yeah, I felt like definitely. I felt
I know.
guilty being part of the problem because you do know exactly what you're doing, but we just live in a world of excess that we just do that stuff.
So the first step for the companies to maximize their profit was to sell more. And of course that obviously makes sense. That seems a little obvious to me. But it did talk about, and this is a thing that I've noticed, creating a need for more by just different varieties of things. Like I was shocked by, like they were saying, the clothing companies. I wrote this down. It said, is it Shein?
Oh yeah,
Shein,
I was going to bring that up. Shein.
It said Shein created 1.3 million new items a year that they sold. How can they come up with that many different things to sell? And it's because people buy them.
They buy them. And then they're not quality.
Oh, I mean, they didn't really go into detail about that, but they're recycled plastics or not even recycled, but the materials that they use. I mean, if you are really conscientious about what you put on your skin, it made me kind of sick.
Yeah,
I mean, like, and I bought from Shein. I mean, I wouldn't say
absolutely.
that I do hauls from them like a lot of the younger generation, but I most definitely have contributed to buying from them.
Me too.
The waste.
Yeah.
The waste was the eye-opening.
But the thing that they get you on, like you said, it's a way to wear what's in style
very cheaply
at the price that you can afford it.
Yes, because you're like, I'm only going to wear this once or twice, but that's okay.
But for $4.99,
I'm in.
No, really. And I've been so guilty of buying things just for that.
Yeah. I bought like 3 Christmas sweatshirts. I don't know why. I think just because I'm old. And they were, because you see them all the time on all the,
right.
the people, and they were $8 each. And the quality of them, whatever. But they were $8.
Yeah. And you can, and kind of on the subject, not really, but I saw a video about the people collecting things in LA for the people that were affected by the fires. And they were saying, quit sending us your bags of clothing. We don't have anywhere to put them. And if you wouldn't wear it,
neither would
they.
Yeah.
So people, they're like,
Right.
It's not your trash bin. And they said, please just send gift cards or something we can do something with. But apparently people were just sending trash bags and trash bags of
realize that. That's
clothing.
terrible.
That is terrible. Well,
And they said, Shein, like it's all this quick fashion that nobody wants.
You can barely
not to
wash
use
it
again.
Yes.
I mean, not to use again. Did you? I mean, I don't want to step ahead, but when they were talking about the returns of Shein or the stuff that nobody wants,
Yeah.
we're going to send them to these poor countries like
Yeah.
Thailand. Thailand didn't even want them. I
Right.
mean, when they were showing that they just dumped them in their oceans.
I didn't understand exactly how they
That
got.
was shocking to me.
I don't understand how they actually got into the oceans. I know they said that they
Did
they
it come
showed
from their
some,
waist? Their
The waste, yeah.
just kind of keeps.
And they dump them. I mean, they literally take them out and dump. I mean,
So like, maybe I'm getting too into the nitty gritty, but did you understand it to mean that companies that have an excess ship their excess over to these
Yes.
poor
Correct.
countries, and then you're saying when the poor countries get them and they're inundated with it,
they just
just
get
end
rid
up.
of it. But they can't do it here, and they can't do it in other more socialized. I can't think of the right word, but countries. We have things in place that say you can't do that.
Right.
So what do? We just send it to a place that doesn't have those restrictions.
Well,
It was. I thought, is this kind of made up? Like when they were showing people,
wish.
the activists going in those areas and just kind of going through the ocean. I mean, the water and all the shoes and all the clothes and they're like, we don't want this. These poor people there, they don't want the added weight. It's sad.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that when we get down.
I think that's a much bigger topic, but
And it feels like it's the wheel is already so in motion that it seems really hard to stop.
Yeah.
Like, how do you overcome people
Yes.
making a bunch of money off stuff? Like, no one's going to stop making money unless they're told they have to. So the first step was to sell more, and that just basically they just talked about all the different companies that create a million different. Like, I laughed, I forgot the Adidas guy. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Okay, but say it like he said it because it was really bothersome to me.
He did say it differently twice, but I
Yes,
watched it
he
again last
did.
night, and he said it normally once, but I don't know
He
what he was
did?
trying to do.
I never heard it
either.
normally once. I heard it Adidas.
Adidas.
Well, and then I thought, is that how you really say it?
I know. Well, I'm like, if he was the
He was the
CEO or
guru.
whatever he
I mean,
was, it is Adidas apparently. And I'm like, do I sound like a hick? Not that I go around
I don't
saying
think anybody
Adidas all
says
the
it
time.
that way.
I've never heard anyone say.
he
That's why
did.
I thought there was like something wrong with him.
All day I dream about sex. That's what people used to say
my
in 8th
God,
grade.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Yes,
You just
that's what it
ripped
means,
a
right?
poor
Yeah,
memory
that's what
out of
they
me. Yes, that is.
I'm sorry. This was a serious topic. Back to serious. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, he did say it. Oddly.
Adidas. So go
Very
ahead.
oddly.
Adidas. But he even said that, he said something like, when I was in charge, we created the quote unquote smart shoe.
Oh, I never even heard of that. Do you remember
I
that?
didn't
It
remember
clearly
it.
wasn't
Obviously
very
didn't.
popular, but his point was they just made a million quote unquote different types of shoes. They really weren't different,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
they just called them different things. And then people said, oh, you've made more shoes. And I like those ones, and a smart shoe, I'm in.
Yeah.
And then they'd buy that too.
Beyonce's wearing that. Kanye West is. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was just
It was sad. The one thing that they said at the during this when the Amazon lady started into the documentary, I liked her a lot.
I did too.
The thing that kind of hit me hard was what she said. The goal of Amazon is that they want you to be who you think of when a need arises, and I think they showed like a like stupid animation of someone in bed. You're
Yes.
like, so if you're in bed at midnight and you're laying on a sheet that's scratchy, Amazon wants you to be able to pick up your phone at midnight, order new sheets, and have them by the next day.
Right. And I've done it.
And
So.
I've done it too.
And I've done it too. darn it, they're good at what they do.
They are. And how they patented the buy with one click.
I hate that.
And the work they go through, is it the right color? Is it the right, will it catch your eye the quickest? And will it do this? And will it do that?
It's so manipulative.
It's so manipulative. And we all fall for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm a sucker, not to brag.
Yeah.
I'm an easy target. So.
So do you have any specific examples that you can think of a time that you did that, like a specific product?
So regularly that I don't even know.
I just ordered pillows from Amazon because they were the hotel brand and they were a lightning deal that were 50% off, and they are good. That's the problem.
But then you're like, but is there anything super wrong with my pillows? Like,
You're right.
are they infested? Are they
I just felt like I
moldy?
needed different pillows, but you can go and get. I fall for it a lot.
Well, I just recently, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Rob was making fun of my most recent Amazon purchase downstairs. And it's, okay, so I did need a table. Now, I could have gone looking through every store under Goodwill. I'm not against getting a used table.
Right.
But when I was on like Facebook Marketplace looking for the table, I never saw one that I was the right size. And when I saw the price, it was in the couple hundred. Well, the brand new ones on Amazon were only a couple hundred, and you could pick exactly which one you want. So then I was like, okay, so the darn table comes today. So I look at it, it's quote unquote free shipping. I'm like, send it. So it comes today, and I don't know. I thought I was only going to have to put the base on the table on. And this.
No.
He's going to kill me. We might get divorced over this. He's like, I'll put it together Sunday. I plan on not being around Sunday because I know when he opens, the box is very rectangular and my table is square. So I already know the table's not put together.
No.
It might turn out to be.
That's going to be a problem for everyone.
So that was the last time I thought, this need arose. And I just went ahead and clicked and bought.
It's so easy.
Yeah. I just looked in my cart to just see if something I've gotten recently. And what I asked the kids to get me for Christmas was a blanket. And it has like hummingbirds kind of boho. It's very cute. Mm-hmm. But I have blankets at my house.
I know.
I don't need a blanket.
No.
Like there is no need for that. So need does not enter the equation very often with my purchases.
No, not mine. No.
Well, and I think I was initially drawn to this documentary because it's not really a New Year's resolution, but as the New Year came by, I remembered Tracy sometime over the past year. Didn't you say, you were kind of like, you're not buying stuff?
Yes. I am doing
we
much,
were
much
talking
better.
about like bath and body stuff that you said, I am going to use these products until they're gone before I get something else.
Yep.
And are you still doing that?
I am.
I'm
Still
so
working
proud
through
of you.
things. Thank you. Except for my new hand soap, but that's okay because you use that. So
You treated yourself to some new hand
Sam
soap?
treated me to
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Well, then that's okay. As long as it wasn't you, it's fine.
I did not.
So yeah, and it's not like I'm against buying anything, but it's just that kind of thing. The how many sweaters do I need? How many pairs of shoes do I need? How many blankets do I need?
Like, I don't know if I've seen your showers. I don't think I have, but do I need 6 different shampoos in there at all times?
I'm
and I
bad.
know you need a couple.
I'm bad.
No, I only have one.
What a weirdo.
I do. I only have one.
I don't do a lot of
just has
shampoos.
one?
I'm very into body washes and body scrubs.
Okay. But you have like multiple things. And then if you open your sink, there'll be like one new one and then 3 half ones. Is that just me?
it's
that
me.
you
It's
switch them out?
It's me too.
Because it's the variety and the different
is.
smell, and it's
But I'm
fun.
like, just use it to clean. You don't need to worry about that.
I know.
Well, that rang a bell when you said that you were attempting to do that. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, how hard could that be? Not a week or two later did I not purchase like another beauty item that was going to make me not look like I was 54.
That's
and
weird.
I already had 15 other half-used beauty items that were supposed to not make me look like I was
My
54.
serum collection is impressive.
What if we added all the serums to make one mega serum?
I don't know. And then just put it in a big pump spray bottle.
So yeah, the temptation is there. It's almost like automatic.
Yeah.
When I walk in a place, like, oh, what will I
especially with something like Amazon, because they follow your shopping styles and they put things that be based on your shopping preferences. Here's this and here's that. It's all
The algorithm.
They all meant to make you purchase.
I also was not a huge fan. Recently, I noticed Amazon. I hadn't noticed them doing it before, but they're constantly getting better about knowing me better than I know myself.
Yeah.
I was going to order a T-shirt, and they put, based on previous purchases, we recommend you wear
This size.
Yeah.
size large.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you know about? And then I was like, God dang it, they're right. But yeah, them like knowing
They take what you usually order and then take it into account with that brand of like what size their measurements.
Well, I hated it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So that was just this first step is sell more.
all right.
Second step is waste more. And this part made me mad because I've become cynical and I've become like crazy conspiracy theory lady. Like it's easier for me to believe them. This is pretty much telling me they're true. Like it started off with waste more saying in 1925, some company got together that had made the light bulb and they decided, let's make it not so efficient so people have to buy them back from us much more frequently.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the business model for like everything since then.
Yeah.
And it's even worse now.
That was very eye-opening to me. I always knew like iPhones, in 2 to 3 years, the battery life. But when they talked to the guy from iFixit,
I felt bad.
I did too. And he said they are gluing iPhones to a certain capacity that you can't even get into them to change a battery. Your little charging cases for your AirPods.
Yep.
The same thing. You can't even change a battery in that. So if you want to be efficient, you want to hold on to the phone. My husband would do that. He'd hold on to the phone for 20 years if he could.
If the phone works.
Yeah, he doesn't need something new and shiny. You can't. That made me. It's really
That's
disheartening.
bad.
And that they keep trying to stop that guy from basically being in business.
Right.
So
Yeah, they were calling it, I had not heard this term before, planned obsolescence. That their entire profits are hinged upon the fact that what they've already given you has a shelf life that isn't very long.
Right.
And they've made it so you can't fix it. So you have to go back and buy some more. I guess you don't have to.
Well,
you do if you want it.
You do if you want it. And like, when they were talking about that the iPhones quit putting the adapter in for, so now you don't have any choice but to have wireless. And then on back to the waste. And then you just was mind blowing when they gave the numbers of how many phones were thrown out, and to see those poor workers in those poor countries tearing apart those iPhones and
By
basically
little tiny pieces breaking them down.
and basically heavy metals in their system and all the cancer causing things. It was disgusting.
Yeah. It was just looked like a big junkyard full of like every tech item, computers and whatever. And they just sat there and used a hammer and basically
broke them into pieces.
And I guess I didn't realize that those kind of things have stuff in them that probably aren't good for you after you smush them down. And letting these people breathe them in and it's not good. I guess one thing that when they said waste more in that part of it that I hadn't really thought of, and it's one of those things like put your head in the sand and it's like, it's fine. They pose the question, what do you think happens when you throw something away? There is no away. And I'm like, what? I thought like the whole waste management system was all figured out and like something magically good happened when I threw away my trash.
I thought it was better run. Naively, I thought it was better run than they pointed out in the docuseries or the documentary. When that guy that was kind of a waste management guru and he was putting tracking on a TV and where it was supposed to go, and then it ends up just nowhere.
Yeah,
and nothing's ever done with it,
like a landfill type thing.
Yeah.
What did you guys have a sophisticated idea of what you thought in your mind where away was when you threw something away?
No, except for the Toy Story when they go down the assembly thing, and like certain things get picked out or whatever.
Yeah.
We're not even that sophisticated.
I actually just thought, in my mind, I went to the Star Wars trash compactor. Remember that scene where just everything gets smooshed? I just thought everything gets mooshed down somewhere, and then there'll be endless room for trash.
Yeah, or it'll get burnt. And I didn't think about the emissions of where those would go.
That's kind of what I thought. I thought that there was a way that they would make it as minimal as possible. But they don't do it here.
No.
They send them off to, other parts of the world that, like Tracy said, they don't have the legislation or the laws or the rules to control it.
And you see like those mounds of trash of like dirty diapers that are like
just, I know,
40 feet tall or something
fake.
Ridiculous. Yeah. And you're like, there's no biodegradability with that. Like it's just never going to go away. It's just going to sit there and fester and grossness.
And how they can put that something's recyclable on a product and it's not.
Well, people just look for those arrows. So people can just draw those arrows.
Is that, why, there's not like the police, like some type of recycling police that says, no, you can't.
No.
I guess I don't know.
It kind of sounds like a free-for-all.
It does.
Yeah, one guy that was on there that was in charge of creating the virtual reality goggles.
Oh, yeah.
Did you like what he said?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I'm part of the he's like, I helped create that product, and I knew when I helped create it that the battery's locked in there, and the battery only lasts for a certain. He's like, there's going to be millions of those whose batteries all give out at the same time that are going to end up.
Yeah.
There's no plan
in
for
waste. Yeah.
where to put them.
Yep.
I guess, yeah, that surprised me. Also, for Waste More, it did go in, and this really made me mad. How companies were never to show customers what they throw away. And I think we've all kind of had a view of that if you've ever worked in the food industry or whatever.
Yeah.
But the steps that they go to hide it. Let's put coffee grounds all over our food so nobody can go dumpster dive and pick it out. Well, can't you set up a system where that food is donated to some capacity?
Yeah.
Maybe there's too much. I don't know.
Well, like there's that app, Too Good. What is it? I've got it on my phone. I don't know. I'm going to say, Too Good to Go. And Indianapolis, which is where we're located for our international listeners. Okay, I'm sorry. Indianapolis only has a handful of places that participate, but they know by the end of the day if they're going to have a lot of surplus.
Yeah.
So they bag it up at a reduced rate of like, you only pay like 25%
Right.
of the cost that way. And you have to like go online and try to get the deal. So it's like $6 for $21 worth of bagels or whatever.
Yeah.
But then at least they're not being thrown out.
I know.
But like, why don't more companies do that?
Because it costs money.
Because they would rather write off the loss
Yes.
of whatever percentage that is than to sell them for cheap for people.
Panda Express. Just for our listeners, Panda Express, they have a lot of leftover food. They don't know what to do with it. I don't know. I guess I thought they throw all their food into the same container so nobody wants to eat it. They weigh it. Oh, this is what we lost today, and they dump it. I don't know what the solution is.
I know where Tracy's going immediately following this.
I honestly did think that. I thought, well, what's the matter with putting all the food together?
I don't mind if my food touches.
But I don't know. That was, to me, the designer bags.
When they said they
slice them up. They slice up Coach bags and Michael Kors bags because nobody's going to be diving in our dumpsters and stealing them from us. Well, you're throwing them out to begin with.
Yeah, but they want you to not have an option but to buy it.
I know.
Or like the cosmetics things. The Sephora and Ulta I've seen on other shows where people go diving in and they get out bags full and they're smashed, but the people take them anyway.
Why would they throw out stuff?
If it's past the time or something new is coming in its place and they're like, clear the shelves. We've got different blue eyeshadow coming in that's
Packaged
1
for
millimeter of a
Christmas.
shade. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It was.
Well, they said holiday. That's a big consumer thing.
Yep.
That
The holiday marketed merchandise.
They have to like cycle through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But didn't you think too with Amazon, and I know there's probably just so much, when you return something from Amazon, I kind of just innocently thought, well, they just repackage it and sell it again.
Don't they?
And they really don't.
It does not go back to the original place.
They have these big warehouses of Amazon returns, and they kind of highlighted it a little bit. I don't know what Amazon does with the stuff.
Well, I do.
But they send them off to the other countries to just waste.
Why can't they resell it?
Then some of it they sell like in pallets, but some of those pallets just go to the landfill or wherever.
Why can't they resell it?
Well, I don't know what the...
It's not economical to ship it back to the place where it came from.
Most of our clothes come from China. So if we buy 5 or 6 bathing suits that we return, it's probably not cost effective for those to,
but why can't they keep them in the Amazon warehouse and wait for somebody else, like just repackage it and wait for someone to buy it?
I would guess for storage and... how are you gonna keep that in order?
I'm a real business person, aren't I?
I guess
I've got a sharp business
And
mind.
so for those people who are like, I'm going to order 5 dresses and pick which one works for me and send the rest back.
But I do that.
And you do, and you get your money back, but those just all go to the landfill.
Well, and the other seedy thing, it kind of made me mad when they talked about slashing the bags before they put them in the dumpster because they don't want to cheapen their brand by having poor people carry their...
Oh, yes, they didn't want homeless people carrying their stuff.
And Bath and Body Works dumping out their stuff because they didn't want... They didn't want to be the brand for the homeless. I'm like,
they didn't want them to smell like
they
gingerbread.
didn't want them to smell good. Give them to homeless shelters. Give your products to homeless shelters.
Yes,
the fact that it's cheaper for Amazon, they said to dump, to throw away toys rather than to redistribute them to kids that would enjoy them blows my mind.
I know. It's disgusting.
Maybe they need to have a new division, a new job of the person redistributing stuff to people in need. Is that too much?
But then there's liability. People sue. I mean, there's so many angles to it. I don't know the answer, but
it makes me mad.
Or gross.
So the third gross thing that corporations do to fool us is they lie more. And this is what I knew they lied. But to Kim's point, she pointed out that like packaging claims. I didn't know the U.S. was one of the few countries that have like almost no rules about what you can put on the outside of your package. You can make it up.
I mean,
how is that okay?
I don't know.
So since there's little regulation, I mean, I guess if I was trying to make money, if it was legal to lie, like I wasn't going to get in trouble, why wouldn't you say that my stuff's organic or all natural or fat free? I'm like, you don't have to prove it.
No.
How many times have you fallen for that for packaging?
I mean, I guess I'm not a big recycler, but now I kind of feel vindicated. Like, okay, I could be putting putting all my products in all different types of things, and they're just lying about what's recyclable anyways. It's really even not recyclable. I don't know. I think I fall for it all the time. I think we're more educated with the non-fat and the low sugar, and I knew that that's just a scam.
Right.
You just got to eat better and eat different portions. You got to get past all the low this, low that, not this, not that, because I don't think most of it's true.
It's not, but boy, you want to believe it, don't you?
Yeah, you do. I mean, it sucks you in.
Because it makes it easier for you if you don't have to figure it out.
Yeah, I've fallen for any claim I ever put on any product. I've fallen for it.
Samesies.
Same here.
So then they also talked about companies greenwashing. Had you heard greenwashing before?
I have.
Okay, so that's basically pretending that they care about the environment. Because it's cheaper than actually doing something about it. So they just they'll make a commercial about how much they care. Are there any brands that you associate with being environmentally sound or socially conscious?
I was trying to come up with some, and I was struggling. I wasn't.
I was just thinking, just superficially, what I see online and stuff. Maybe I'm being, duped on this, but Lush is a skincare brand that is very, very big about everything being packaged, ergonomically and everything's natural and everything's. And I mean, I think more of their focus probably is very light packaging, very simple, cardboard. I don't know. I couldn't think of a lot of companies that came to my mind. I mean, you got all those Instagram gurus out there that'll say, I use this brand because it's clean, and there's clean, there's clean everything. But
how clean is it?
But how clean?
Probably not very.
Yeah. How clean is
You
it?
can say anything you want.
Yeah.
For some reason, the first brand I thought of was Tom's shoes.
Okay.
Like they're like, oh, you buy this shoe.
And we donate a shoe.
And we donate.
Well, they're just sitting in the ocean.
I think it's because they're ugly. I don't know.
They're not ugly.
Okay.
I like Tom's.
I like Tom's. I don't have any right now, but I like Tom's. And I thought, oh.
Yeah, they seem to be Bombas, a sock company.
Yeah,
Same thing.
What if I were to.
But again, that's overconsumption, because when you buy a pair, Bombas gives a pair to a charity.
And then it's in the ocean.
So it's 2 pairs right off the bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that I'm thinking of it, the whole Tom's buy a shoe, send a shoe, I think we have too many shoes. I think we need to quit sending
I have too many shoes, and I don't have a lot of shoes.
I don't either, and I have a lot of shoes.
Me
you know
too.
what I mean? But that is something that consumption is. I mean, shoes are.
My sister,
my God,
my sister is not what she's like the poster child for, like just great non-consumer everything. She's frugal, and if she has one good pair of shoes, that's good. She calls me Imelda. Remember Imelda Marcos? I forget where she ran. She was the.
Oh, I remember
Philippines.
Imelda. She
Oh,
had
it was the Philippines. Yeah.
Yeah, she had thousands and thousands of pairs of
Yes.
Yeah.
shoes.
So yeah, that's my nickname. So that made me feel good when I saw all those shoes
Thank you.
on Ghana's shore. Okay, so the fourth thing that companies do is they hide more, and that was all about how they pack up and ship their excess to the Philippines and to Ghana, and just letting it pile up there, make it their problem and not ours, and out of sight, out of mind. I get that. And the fifth and final thing is control more. And that was when the lady that worked at a high level at Amazon was saying that if you get to a certain level of management there, they basically make you sign something like pledging your allegiance to the company, like never saying a bad word about it, that kind of thing.
I think that in recent years, I've come to realize that all the stuff that you hear about Amazon being a horrible company to be employed with is 100% true. I've never heard a positive thing about how they treat their employees. Well, the way they fired her. I mean,
and it makes me sad that I bought the table. But now I don't want the table to end up in the ocean. So
you're stuck with it.
I'm stuck with this stupid table. But they were talking about controlling, like, not only their employees, but controlling the message that they send out. And it is all very calculated, as we saw. I mean, I knew it was, but I didn't know
it's just
how.
When you hear like an insider talk that way,
like how they can control them. Well, here's what I thought of with the control the message. You know how like right now they're trying to get rid of TikTok?
Yeah.
And basically because if you think of it as the United States as a company and China as a company, China runs TikTok. So the U.S. doesn't have any say over what's allowed on there. They can't control the message. So they don't want their consumers hearing or seeing things that they don't control.
Correct.
And that made me super cynical. I was like, oh, well,
It's gross.
it is gross. And then it also made me hate that the other people that have a similar platform like X or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, how they've bowed to it.
I mean, what Mark Zuckerberg did recently. He's like, I'm going to go along with Trump, and we're not fact checking anymore.
Yeah, who cares about that?
I mean,
What?
what kind of world do we live in?
Crazy. Well, like with the TikTok ban thing that's happening, and if it happens, I don't know.
What do you think it's going to happen, Tracy? What's your prediction?
I think there's going to be an extension.
I think there'll be a different
and then they'll find a
platform.
way to make it work. Well, like right now, a bunch of people are jumping over to Red Note.
Yeah, I saw
which
that.
is a China-based company.
It's China too.
It's China. It's so China. Like my name on there is in Chinese letters.
Wait a minute, you have a red note?
Of course I do.
Of course she does, because she's afraid her TikTok will be gone.
No,
What
but
do you
like
want?
the people that are on there are so funny. For one, it's like Chinese people that are like, "Oh my gosh, I've never had an American friend, and now I have 1,000
I
American
did
friends."
not know it was
But then
China
they
run.
also have said, You did this to yourself, America. Like, and they're saying like they're doing it to protect us and protect our information.
They're making it all.
And I will tell you that as far as my information goes, I have gotten letters in the mail that my information has been compromised by my bank. My information
Insurance
has been
companies.
compromised by my insurance, by my doctor's office.
Hospitals, yes.
Everything has
Nothing
been
is private.
There's nothing that they can see
They
that
just
I don't
want- they
already
wanna
use it.
control the narrative.
Correct. So,
Yeah, I kind of feel like, I mean, my girls, they're freaking out.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I read this is going to be this whole, if that really would happen, it would be like a whole mental health crisis. Good God, what's the matter with our world? But I kind of have a feeling, and I'm no expert, that it will just, go away, but it'll be rebranded. And it'll be a U.S. rebrand, and somebody like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg's going to take control of it, or somebody that does Shark Tank is going to buy it and work
they
with
think
Trump.
everyone's going to go back to Instagram, but they're not going to.
That's not the
The
same
people on
platform.
TikTok are like, not happening.
No, it's not the same platform.
It's not. And
My girls would not scroll on Instagram.
And
That's for old
Zuckerberg
people.
is gross too, because that had me at like it had me as a crossroads, because I'm like, I want to be able to communicate with people online like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very convenient way to be social in a widespread way. But I don't like him, so now all of a sudden I'm like, well, I don't want my Facebook, and I don't want my Instagram, and hell no, I definitely don't want Twitter. But I want something. And I'm like, isn't there like an ethical, nice, super smart person that can just develop an app that we can all use?
Mark Cuban, adore. He put out a video yesterday, day before, and he kind of put a call out to people that are app creators.
Yeah.
And he's like, if you can give me, and he called it like an MVP, which I think it was an MVP, but that was an acronym basically for a mock-up of what your app is going to do, how you're going to do it if you're an app creator. I will invest in a company that is US based if you can show me how you're going to make it like TikTok.
That's
Basically.
refreshing to see that.
And there are several that I saw today of people saying, like, we're working together, like smart people
unite.
computer smart people getting together. I don't know if they'll figure it out or not. I don't know if he'll be the investor, but people are trying to do it.
Well, and that's kind of the other takeaway I had with all the other issues with the plastic packaging and the tech stuff that is not getting recycled, and all of the waste and the mounds of diapers. I just think there's so many smart people. There has to be a way to at least get it under control. Like, there has to be some sort of super smart person that knows science and engineering and could come up with a way to make it less damaging. I don't know what that is. That's, like I said, I'm not an engineer. I know that's shocking to you, but don't you think that?
Oh, absolutely. I
gotta be
I don't
somebody.
think our world works in a way unless it's crisis that something would change.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't even know if that would really even do it. I mean, I just feel like we have to almost crash and burn before anything. I mean, like you said at the very beginning of the podcast, we knew all these things and we've seen all these things, but when you kind of see it in that kind of format and you hear insiders talk about it and they show the pictures of the waste, after that was over, I had a very sick feeling.
Me too.
So.
Me too. And I think the takeaway that they had at the end of the documentary, and I think this is exactly the point, but just what you said, Kim, easier said than done.
Yeah.
Like they said, the bottom line is that companies need to plan for the end of life of their product. It's not the consumer's job to figure out what to do with what they sell.
No, it's not.
But unfortunately, it kind of is. So until is that legislation? Like, do you think it has to be a law for companies to abide by it? They're just not going to do it out of their good nature, right?
And like Tracy said, it costs to do it. It's the bottom line is they want to make money, not, I don't know.
Okay, so the last question of the podcast, because I just think this is interesting. What brands are you loyal to and why? When I thought about that, do you have any, Tracy?
I'm not really loyal to any brands. I really tried to think, and the only thing that came to mind is L'Oreal. I will buy their hair products again and again, but others, whatever's on sale. I really can't think of anything, clothes-wise, shoes, anything that I'm like, yes, I always get that.
Mine was more toiletry type thing. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
I always get Crest toothpaste. My dad, when we were little, we grew up, we had Crest.
Yeah.
And so when I bought toothpaste, sure, I dabbled in others, Colgate. And don't think that I didn't put 3 tablespoons of Aquafresh on my toothbrush, just
Right.
like they did in the commercial in the 80s.
Yes, the
It was
swoosh,
terrible.
curly, the curl.
But I always went back to Crest for no apparent reason.
Yeah, that kind of brings in another question that you asked, but the iridescent toothpaste boxes.
Those are my teeth.
Here's all my money. Here's all my money.
I know.
You make that box look sparkly,
I
and
know.
I am paying $12 for the same
And
thing
you put
that
all
is
the
in
right
the $3
words
box.
on there and
Yes.
I know.
All the lies.
All the lies.
All the lies.
Feed me the lies, and I'll give you my money. So, so no, I'm not loyal to any of that
Well,
either.
and also, I don't know. I mean, you're not going to be able to check TikTok later, kids, but there is a guy on TikTok that goes through like a Target or a Walmart or whatever and just shows aisles of stuff. And then, you have millions, hundreds of thousands of options, but he'll just say, he'll color in the ones that are different, quote unquote, products, all owned by the same mega corporation. So it's like one whole aisle could show you deodorants, maybe 15 different kinds, but really there's only 2 different companies that own
Yeah,
both
absolutely.
those kinds. And I'm like, why do they have to make that many deodorants? Make the best deodorant you can make. There should be one for each person that's, nobody wants to kind of not sweat. Like either do it right or don't do it.
Yeah.
And stop with this weird
But they have to have
variety.
different price points.
No, they don't.
Well, but that's what they're doing because they can sell more.
But I'm saying, I just had a problem with my trash bag. I accidentally bought Glad. I always buy Glad. I've bought off-brand.
I'm a hefty.
I've bought off-brand before, but I wasn't happy. I thought, no. So I bought Glad, came home, stuffed it just past capacity in the kitchen, as I usually do, trying to get my money's worth. And when I tried to take it out of the thing, the Glad bag broke at the top, and all this trash went flying out. And I'm like, wait a minute, this. And then I realized, I looked at the box. I did not buy the Glad Flex Pro or whatever it's called, Flex, Super Flex.
Yes.
I just bought Glad trash bag.
Basic.
And I was like, son of a gun. Glad,
Gotcha again.
if you're listening, nobody wants one that's going to break. So if you have the ability to make one,
Just make
that
one.
doesn't
Make one
break,
good one.
It doesn't break. Sometimes they throw some Febreze in there. If you can make it smell good, make it smell good. Okay, give me one bag, the one that won't break, that smells good.
No,
And
but
then put a price on it.
smelly trash bags are kind of like smelly tampons. I'm not a fan.
Wow, I can't believe you just said that.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Somebody walks in a room with a deodorant tampon, you can smell it.
Oh my God.
Wow. You got a really strong sniffer. I don't like scented trash bags. I'm sure they do. It's an artificial. I don't like. Yeah, I mean, feminine products. I don't like scented feminine products. We're not talking about like dirty tampons.
Good God. This is a family show. Would you just stop it?
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, my point is, it would be easier if everyone just gave us their best effort. Give me your one good trash can bag and be done with it.
Yes.
And then there wouldn't be all of this. I guess there goes their profit. So I guess that's never going to happen.
That's never going to happen. Good thought, though.
Yeah, thanks. Kim, were there any brands that you're loyal to?
I'm like you. I think that I'm just by habit. I'm very loyal. We grew up with Dove soap, so I use Dove. I'm clean houses. I'm very loyal to what I like
Yeah.
the smell of, or what I like how it works.
Right.
Toiletries and stuff like that. I will say, when we were talking about labels, we had a book club back in the day, and Ann Youngman worked at one point for Aldi, and I think that was the first time that I ever knew that Aldi's ketchup is Heinz ketchup because they just pay to put the Aldi label on it. I forget what the term is. What, like when you, so like you said, there's all these products.
It's an
but
illusion.
that you can go to Myers ketchup is probably
It's the
Heinz
same.
ketchup. It's
Yeah.
the same. We bought a dishwasher within the last couple of years, and it was a cheaper brand. It's like called Criterion.
Right.
We went to Home Depot, and she was like, "They're all made at the same factory." So it really doesn't. She's like, it may not have all the bells and whistles of the other one, but the nuts and bolts of it are the same.
Yes.
So it's just, it's eye-opening.
It is. It is. So thank you for joining us today. If you want to know more, we encourage you to watch that documentary. There were several other documentaries that's been made. I won't watch the one that kind of takes down the food industry because I think it will ruin absolutely everything for me.
There are
But-
certain things I can't know.
Yeah, I just
I'd like to have a blind eye.
Secrets are fine. But I hope just, whatever you've heard today, it makes you think twice before you click buy. One of the Amazon lady did say that her policy is she puts stuff in her cart, and if after a month you still want it, then order it.
Yep.
Just
That's
to
a
kind
really
of
good idea.
Just
It
to
is a good
kind of
idea.
catch yourself.
Sleep on it.
Yeah, instead of just clicking, because it's so darn easy. Thank you so much for joining us on Up for Grabs. We'll see you next time.